What's up, guys? A lot of you were asking about some of my plants, and just want to do a quick little video. I don't know most of these plants. So what happened was this tank. I've done several different scapes with this tank. It's CO2 injected. I have a 10-pound CO2 tank. I have a FX4 running on this tank. I also have a Aqua Clear 110 running on this tank. And this is sand substrate. A lot of you would say this can't be done, but I'm definitely doing it. So I got a stem pack from my buddy Winston Sumogood. Check him out on Raleigh Aquarium Society. He also has the most beautiful Pinoy blue angels you have ever seen in your life. They're so pretty. He's a really good dude, and he helps out in the hobby tremendously. But I went out there to get some angels and end up buying some plants, and it's super affordable. And all I use in this tank, I don't use nutrients. I use Easy Green. I got it right here. Aquarium Co-op. And I'm not sponsored. I just love Corey, man. He's helped me out tremendously. Without his help, I would not be here, guys. I would not still be in this hobby. He's so knowledgeable, and he's helped me out. It's been a long journey, and not directly, but I've bought a lot of stuff from him. But just his information has been so helpful and make you enjoy the hobby that much more. I love this tank, though. There's about 14 cardinal tetras in here. 11 rummy nose tetras. I have 11 electric blue balloon rams and 4 gold longfin balloon rams. And if you know anything about me, rams are probably my favorite fish in the hobby. I absolutely love them. They're fun to watch, especially with a sand substrate. They just sift it constantly, but they're really cool. It's a smart fish. To me, it's like a hummingbird. They just flutter and they move and they think and they flutter. I love them. The plant here in the back is not from my buddy Winston Sumogood. This is Jungle Val. And I was super disappointed in this plant. I bought it from Aquarium Co-op. And I bought a bunch. And I put it in 3 of my other tanks, and it all died. I put it in this tank, it melted back. And not only did it melt back, it didn't come back in the other tanks. But in this tank, I had a little rhizome or whatever. I don't know if it's a rhizome or not, but it was just a little root. And I left it in this tank, and it is finally growing in all its glory, and it's shooting runners off, and I'm containing it right here. But you can also see over here I put some. I like the way it looks up top. But all I use is root tabs by Seachem and Easy Green once a week, sometimes twice a week. If I notice the plants, if I check the nitrates on the tank, and I like to keep it around 40, but it doesn't stay that high. These plants just eat nutrients, but once a week and 1 pump per gallon. Let's look at some of these plants closer up. Oh yeah, here's another kicker, and reason I changed the scape and went to a more high-tech tank this time. I had low-tech plants, Scarlet Temple, Dwarf Sage in the front. It was a beautiful tank, but Blackbeard algae. I bought Java Fern on wood This is when I was still new to the hobby from Aquarium Co-op, which you'll see a bunch of in my other tanks, and I love it. But I didn't know what blackbeard algae was, and it came in on the piece of wood I got from Corey at Aquarium Co-op, and there was 2 little spots on it. I was like, it's probably gonna die. My tank's well balanced. Just leave it in there. So it started getting on my plants, and especially like the slow growers, like the Scarlet Temple. It was so bad. And the Door Sag, I mean, it was just blackbeard algae, and it was out of control. I've tried everything. Everybody says get the Flourish XL. It'll knock it out. Guys, it doesn't do nothing. Turn your CO2 up. Guys, it didn't do nothing. I've been battling this blackbeard algae for over a year, and I finally figured out, I mean, I would do a big water change and get it down to like here, so everything up top was exposed, and I just peroxide, and it kills it almost instantly. Love peroxide for blackbeard algae, but at the bottom of the tank, it still had blackbeard algae, so I'd scrape it off and I'd gravel vac, and I wouldn't see any, and it just come back. So I'm trying the syringe situation now, and let me tell you, I love it. I love it. So I do the same thing. I do the big water change, everything up top, I peroxide, and then I get in here, and I usually do about 50 to 60 mils of peroxide. And I read that you can use up to 2 mils, and it hasn't affected the fish at all. Scared me to death. The first time I did it, the whole tank went red like death. I thought all my beneficial bacteria was dead. I ran, and this is what I've been doing. So when I kill the blackbeard algae, I cut everything off. I let it sit for 20 minutes, and then you come back and the stuff's dying immediately. It's red, and it works really well. But I do a big water change right after, and I fill it back up, and you can see the bottom. The sand is really bad sometimes. It'll be like a big pocket of blackbeard algae, but you can see those new holes that are opening up and behind there, and I really think it's going away. I'm praying. I love this tank. Well, let's look at some of these plants close up. These okay, and if you know what these are, I mean, you can put it down in the comments, help me out. If my boy Winston Sumogood sees this video, he will know. But they're all beautiful, and I moved them around, and I'm still what I'm doing here is I'm just these on the left, growing them out so they're long enough, and then I'm gonna put them over here, and I'm gonna remove that because I want enough space on the side of the tank where I can clean the glass without actually hitting them. But you can see, and when you put these in a group, they look amazing. Look at this jungle valve. It was dead, guys. I swear I had no growth for like 6 months. And look at it, how it just blows at the top. You can see I've already cut some of it off because it keeps wrapping around that cord. Look at this. I love this plant. This plant is beautiful. This is the bush one of the guys was asking about in the comments. I just did a huge trim on it, guys. It was huge. It was almost touching the top of the tank, and I cut it all the way back. But you can already see the new growth coming. I just transplanted this plant. This plant's the same as this plant, but this is the bottom growth, which doesn't get a lot of light, and it's kind of, I don't like that color. This is the top growth. Oh God, look at that beautiful ram back there. See him just fluttering with the red eye. I love that red eye. This is my fiance's favorite plant. She says it's her palm trees, and I love this plant. This is all new growth. I cut it back a couple weeks ago, and you got double the plants. And I'm doing the same thing on the other side here. This was a big bush, but I never can clean well on the side, so I'm growing it out a little bit, and then I'm gonna transplant it over here. So I got the sides kind of open, guys. Let's check out this awesome filter, FX4. I love. And you see I put my intake in the back corner on this one, guys. So it's blowing, and you see I got it both directed up. Look at that surface agitation. This dog will clear 110. Does a little bit of surface agitation. I mainly use this for housing my crushed coral, because we got such soft water. It's under 6, guys. And you see both, I have intake filters on both of them. Just less maintenance, guys. Makes no sense. I mean, you don't have that on there, and you have to clean your filter every 3 months. But if you put it on there, it's like every 6 months, guys. No brainer. I love the cardinal tetras too, but the rummies, they just hide all the time. Oh, and these guys are kind of shy too. See the rummies? And they'll do that when they hide. They'll try to turn their color off their nose for a little bit. But they hide all the time. I had this tank originally when I set it up. I had 50 rummy nose tetras, and I fell in love with them. Excuse me. Because just the back and forth action. I got videos where I could just go back and forth and they follow my hand. But I got this group, and with the amount of plants in here, I don't know if it's I did switch to high light, guys. So I have on this tank, I have a Night Crew 48-inch, and then I have my favorite, the Beamswork DA series, not the EA. Do you think it's too much light for this tank, guys? I don't have to trim but once every couple weeks, except for that plant over there on the corner that my fiance likes so much that we call the palm trees. That thing grows in a week. It's at the top of the tank. Every week I have to trim that. But the rest of them is not that bad. I usually run about... I used to have a drop checker in here, and I'd run like 10 bubbles per second, guys. And every 2 months, I would have to replace a 10-pound tank, and it would turn it green. And I've recently turned it down to 2 bubbles per second, and it looks amazing. Plants still pearl, which is always fun. I just put my hand in here and disturbed them a little bit, but you can see the pearlage. I don't know. I always switch it up and try new things. Oh God, look at them in the back. It's such amazing fish, guys. Look at the difference. I just got the one on the right. His face is almost all blue. He's kind of silver. These were given to me by my buddy Huy Nguyen. He's got the best fish, guys. They're expensive though. I wouldn't say super expensive, but you definitely pay for quality. Look at them all. You see them all back there, guys? They're like, what are you doing? I got the Eheim. I think this is a 200 heater on the background. I just love plants, and I love looking at this tank. I wish the rummy noses were out. But other than that, well guys, if you have any questions or comments, I've been rambling on. My fiance's been home for she just got home from work, so I'm gonna get off here. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to ask. Appreciate you guys watching my video. Hope you enjoy it. If you do, hit the like button and subscribe. I'm gonna make a bunch more videos. Oh, there's the gold one. Don't run. Yep, he's gone. There's another one right there though. I'll get some close-ups of those guys. You're gonna love them. All right, I'm out, guys. Peace.